Hi, I think this is recording. I'm doing this on Zoom, and I hope I can be able to finish it and then um, uh, put it on my YouTube site. So anyway, Ronnie Figueroa here. I have no clue what I'm going to be speaking about, and I like to do it this way because I believe it's really important to present what we are and what we want to portray and what we want to give to heal ourselves as well as to help the world by basically trusting in something that's inside of us. If anybody's watched any of my other videos, you know I speak about the whole idea of a collective consciousness. I call it a collective consciousness, and the whole idea with this is that there's an energy inside of us. And when we tap into that, that alone is the most important thing we can do. And when I say that alone, I mean to learn, and this is what we all need to do, is to learn to get us into this place where there's a knowledge, if you want to call it that, there's a peace, a knowingness, and people give it different words. Some people would call it like becoming self-actualized. So that's the Viktor Frankl's term, I think. One of the psychiatrists that, one of the really cool contemporary psychiatrists who came up with something with more great ways for us to heal our emotions. Some might call it a relationship with God, being in a place of spacious awareness or being one with yourself. You can call it whatever you want, and you don't have to really believe in any kind of like deity or anything like that, or any specific religion. As a matter of fact, I think the major religions have caused problems, on our planet health. And there's many of them, and they're growing and growing. The one that I would caution people against these days is the one that promotes some of the better stuff, but it's still kind of skewed and distorted because of what we do. What we usually do is something that's original and beautiful and good. We can't help but distort it because of that human side of us that needs to have something, that needs to have more, that needs to understand everything. And this is how a majority of us live. Most of all of us to some degree, but a majority of us way too much. So anyway, one of the key thing to remember, or say the key thing, a key thing to remember, and again, as I'm speaking these words, I have no clue what I'm going to be saying. But a key thing I think for us to remember is that we are all one, and we need to join together. And this world would be a much better place. And I guess these times, it's a good time to speak about this, maybe even more so with the coronavirus. But even without the virus, we need to get it together as soon as possible. I say this sometimes, and it's true, I really believe this. In order for us to wake up, a lot of times we just need a really good kick in the ass, because sometimes suffering can have a person to become aware so that they can fit into the reality of life, as opposed to being on the outside of it or trying to create something that isn't real. But the confusing part for all of us is, how do we do that? How do we get to this place and stay in this place consistently? That's the key part. And when I say stay in this place, I'm talking about being able to heal all of the things that we've been conditioned by in our past, our good stuff, our bad stuff, our ugly stuff. It's all a part of who we are. We're not just a human. We're not just being. We are human being as one. We'll always be that way. There'll always be suffering because we need that yin-yang kind of principle in our lives in order to continue to expand. So if what I'm saying, resonates at all, just kind of try to get it, that there is this place, and there's a easy way, easy yet the most difficult for human beings, I think, can be the most difficult because it's so simple. It's just bringing yourself back to that spark of what you believe you are, holding yourself here, and then learning how to trust this more than anything else, and that's it. Everything else is secondary. I even like to say, and I've said it before, everything else is insignificant in comparison to just kind of bringing yourself here, however you perceive that right now, holding on to that spark. And when I say bring yourself back here, I mean just bring yourself to a place where you feel there's a spark of something good or reality or you. It doesn't have to be good, bad, or anything like that, just you. And we all can do this, at least get that spark. Okay, now, but what about all these other things that are going on? People who are very depressed, anxiety ridden, panic ridden, wanting to commit suicide just on the body, can't get out of bed, the whole 9 yards. Holding on to this and being able to observe yourself as you're in this place. Observe yourself being here in this spark. It's not the idea, they throw these words out, awareness and be present. Yeah, sure. They can help guide you, but they're guides really to bring you here. And once you're here, you got to learn how to trust this more and more. It's you. And then you take risks. This is a cool part now. We're trying to get this. Vulnerably taking risks. And that's from this place. And the more you do that, the more you'll heal. You'll heal much sooner. There's other ways, sure. But the doing can take, years and years and years and years. And if you know people who've been working on, quote, self-help kinds of programs, you'll see that they're not really that together, the most of them that I've known anyway, and I've seen and read and heard about and all that. So I think we all are getting it to a degree. We all want more of it. And hopefully these times can have people wake up a little bit more. Because when it's over, which it'll be over soon enough, to the degree where people will be, more comfortable, where there'll be less of the fear, the storm has passed. Oh yeah, I want to show you this. I think this will come out in the right form. When I first started hearing about the coronavirus and how people were getting upset about it and how it's this major pandemic that's going on in our world right now, and one day I just glanced up at this little sign I have here up on my wall, and it just hit me as being so pertinent to what's going on right now. I think I can show it to you. And let me see if I can do this. I hope you can see this. It says, I don't know if you see it. It says, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. I really like that. And there's just something really pertinent to that, because, and when I say dance in the rain, I don't mean like you're just like, Gene Kelly and you're just happy and flipping around and you got your umbrella and everything. Although if you want to do it that way, that's fine too. But I'm talking about focusing so much on the life that's within you. It'll guide you toward self-actualization. It'll guide you toward, because you got to be a part of this piece. It'll guide you toward, no matter what happens in your life, it'll guide you toward being okay with it, much more so than you ever have in your life. And even if you keep developing this, being at a place of being happy and peace and feeling like you are dancing, but dancing to the flow of life. And there's a peace in that. There's a joy in that. So I don't know. I think I wanted to say that. I might want to say more. Let me see. No, probably not. I'll just leave it there and hope that, people get it and can incorporate these kinds of things into our lives. And we can see how important it is for us to join together, but I mean really join together. And the better way is breaking through these barriers with, again, being genuine, way important. You got to be who you are, but being open and vulnerable to change, to expansion. Being vulnerable, not stuck and rigid in your belief systems, and being able to take the risk of just trusting this one place inside of you, not needing, like we all do to some degree, an idol outside of ourselves. And when I say idol, I don't mean necessarily a church or something solid. The internal idols that we hold on to, a society or people, our best friends, our family, needing to be a part of. That's it, being idle. Being addicted to these kinds of things are not good, and breaking away from them is good. And it's not like you have to become this perfect person. It's like with all your flaws, the more you can just stay here, even if it's for a little bit during any given day, you're changing yourself and you're changing the world. And for those who are just starting to get it, if you want to call it it, and you pass on, or you're going to have a terminal illness and you pass on, you're going to make it, you're still a part of this, and we are all going to always be a part of it, no matter who you are. It's no such thing as like some people go, I need to leave a legacy, or I need to leave a tombstone or something in remembrance, or I need to do this for a relative so that we can remember that. There's too many people in this world who've passed who've had no tombstones, who nobody knows about, but they're still a part of me from the beginning of time. And they're part of this legacy. This is the legacy. Please hold on to this and grow more and more into it. You'll still be yourself. You can, your culture, your personalities doesn't have to change. Your religious beliefs, all these kind of things, they don't have to change. But they'll become a universal oneness, consciousness, where we'll start speaking the same language. And it doesn't have to even be with words. It will just be the same language. Okay, now I'm going to stop. So I hope you hear this, and I hope you can be helped by it. See.